So what you're looking at here is Medieval Moves. It comes out in November of this year, 2011. It's a PS3 Move exclusive title. And in the game, the basic story is there's an evil sorcerer named Morgrim, and he's had this skeleton curse put across the entire kingdom. And the hero, Deadman, was turned into a skeleton, but he had this special amulet that prevented his mind as well as his body from being taken over by the skeleton curse. Unfortunately, all his other friends don't have this amulet, so they've all been their minds and bodies have been taken over by Morgrim. So your quest now is to basically go through the entire kingdom and try to free all the skeletons from the Morgrim's curse and put things back to normal. Medieval Moves is made by the same team that brought Sports Champions, and this utilizes some of the move mechanics that were in Sports Champions, like the gladiator duel fighting, the bow and arrow archery, and the disc golf, and combines them in a new, interesting way so that you can do them kind of all together. The disc golf genesis is the genesis of like the throwing star mechanic. The bow and arrow is obviously from the archery, and the gladiator sword and shield combat all brought together in the Medieval Moves, but then combined so you can switch between these at will. We find this is kind of a natural extension of the move controls. It's basically taking what we started with in Sports Champions and be able to combine them in a way that is a more fulfilling experience than just purely segmented gameplay experiences like we had in Sports Champions. Good question. So for Sports Champions, the bulk of the development was done prior to the move actually being completed. So we had to make a lot of assumptions and guesses as we were creating the product. This game was started after the move was already done, so it was a fixed target. We already knew what the move was capable of. And so that allows us to do things like have more refined controls, allows us to do things like combine controls like we do now, where you can switch between a bow and arrow shot straight into throwing stars, straight into sword and shield combat without having an inventory system. You just do the actions and they work. And I don't think this would have been possible to do during the time of Sports Champions, because we weren't familiar with what the move could do yet. Now we are. It's a fixed target and allows us to take it to the next level. So for Sports Champions, I think what we were trying to accomplish there, we were trying to have something for everyone. So we had things like gladiator duel, where someone may be really into gladiator duel that would not necessarily be into like a table tennis experience, and vice versa. There could be someone that would really like to play table tennis but not really interested in sword and shield. For Medieval Moves, really our target is really anybody that's into motion controls. I think what we want to do in this game is also make sure that we appeal to both kids and adults. So you see in the game, you have combat with sword and shield, bow and arrows, and throwing stars, but there's no blood, there's no profanity in the game. We want to make sure that it's still accessible for kids, as well as adults. I think this is kind of a game that, I mentioned the team mode. I think this is kind of game that a dad could play with their kids, and I think have a good fun time in split screen at home. And I think it's also the same kind of game that a more traditional PS3 user could have fun playing online against other players. So we want to cast the net out really broad and try to appeal to a lot of different kinds of people. We're happy to bring online gameplay for Medieval Moves. The content in Medieval Moves for multiplayer has both offline and online modes. And all these modes are compatible whether you're playing at home or whether you're playing online. There's competitive modes where you compete against someone. There's also cooperative modes where you work as a team together to help complete objectives. And then there's different game modes that are kind of tailored for those different experiences. We're not revealing all the details just yet, but there's certain game modes, for example, that are tailored for the team experience, and there's other game modes that are tailored for more competitive one-on-one experience. It's a completely separate. It's a separate section we call the battle mode, and in the battle mode you can actually play solo in battle mode as well. So you can play solo or as a team or competitively, both offline and online. And there's 3 different gameplay modes within battle mode that all have different kinds of objectives that you can play with. So we're always continuing to want to improve the game. I think it's a continuation of the technology that was done for Sports Champions. It's all been improved. They call it like their 2.0 version of the internal engine. So, but it utilizes the things they learned from Sports Champions as the base for the technology and kind of improve from there. I mean, we were going to take the opportunity to continue to improve the game right up until we've got to finalize that disc. So there'll be continuous improvements throughout the game. But we expect from ourselves to be the premier move motion control experience. I mean that's our goal, and that's what we intend to deliver with Medium Rules.